Hi, Sharmila. Let's take a look at this new set of essays and see what you wrote. So this is one about weddings. Here's what you said. In many parts of the world, it is a prevalent phenomenon to have expensive weddings. The advantage is that, no comma, make the newlywed happy couple happy and contribute to the economy, and the disadvantages are that they are a source of financial burden and set a negative trend in the society. All right. First of all, this isn't really appropriate in terms of structure for an introduction. Your introduction just had 2 sentences, and you never really told me what your opinion is. You're supposed to say if the benefits outweigh the disadvantages. Okay, you didn't do that. You basically just told me half of what an introduction should have. So you introduced the topic, and then you said that there are advantages and that there are disadvantages, and that's it. The way you said that there are advantages and disadvantages, though, was also problematic. The grammar was a little too simplistic, it was inaccurate, and the same applies for the vocabulary. So let's try it a little differently, shall we? In many parts of the world, it is a prevalent phenomenon to have expensive weddings. Many people debate whether there are more advantages or disadvantages of this trend. Some cite that you know what? You don't even need to go into all of this. Actually, in your introduction, save it for your body paragraphs, okay? So after you said the previous sentence that people debate whether it's more positive or negative, then you can say, despite any advantages expensive weddings may have, overall, I believe the disadvantages are stronger. All right, and then you're out of there. Then you go into your body paragraphs. The 2 main advantages, this is strange, look at this. The 2 main advantages are mainly 2. That's awkward. So, the main advantages of spending huge amounts, of money on weddings are mainly 2. And then here you need a colon, not a comma. They are a source of happiness to the couple and provide a boost to the related industries. Every boy or girl cherishes to have a dream wedding and make it memorable. A grand wedding enhances the ego of the couple and is an immense sort of psychological upliftment. It gives them an opportunity to invite large numbers of friends and family and improve their social status. The other advantage of having expensive weddings is that, no comma, it offers business to the owners and employees of the hospitality and food industries. During the royal wedding of Prince Harry with Meghan, it is estimated that £26,000 were spent on serving sausages, and it was a big boost to the food industry. Thus, this illustrates the advantages of a grand wedding to the economy. All right, so, Sharmila, you've done something I like here, but there are some problems as well. Basically, this part of the paragraph was good. You developed it the way you should have developed it. It had examples, it was supported, you extended. The first part of the paragraph was problematic. It basically read like a list, and you were giving me lists of things and ideas, but you didn't really support them anywhere. So here, you say that they dreamed of a dream wedding and they want to make it memorable. And then you says it enhances their ego. It's a source of a psychological upliftment. It gives them okay, so this is just a list, and that's not a paragraph. How do you make it a paragraph? Anytime you give me an idea, you back it up with some sort of example, some sort of illustration, something, okay? So what I would have preferred is if you had maybe just chosen one of these, or maybe 2, and just extended them a little more, okay? I could see some mistakes. I don't know if you're just trying to write quickly. There is some unnaturalness, and there are some other issues as well, like this. Look at that. The 2 main advantages are mainly 2. So that was obviously strange. That was, I felt like it was just carelessness, really. And then again, a psychological upliftment, that's an awkward expression. We don't really use it. Okay? So that needs to be improved as well. Okay, let's move on. But the second half of the paragraph was fine. However, the disadvantages of having expensive weddings are, no comma, that they are a burden on the newlywed couple, it's usually one word, and are an unnecessary expenditure for the society. Okay, I don't know why, but all right, let's see. Very often the couple has to borrow money from the parents or from the bank. This becomes a huge burden and hinders the marriage later on. They often have to comprise on essential expenses, such as buying a house or a pension plan. You mean compromise, not comprise. Moreover, you didn't need a second full stop. Moreover, unnecessary money spent on fancy weddings is a waste, not wastage, is a waste of hard-earned money. Expensive weddings are increasingly common and set a negative trend in the society. Full stop. So you say this should have backed it up. Again, it's another kind of statement that should have been extended. All right, don't just throw an idea out to your reader and not support it by explaining what you mean, illustrating it, giving more information about it. And I want you to be a little more careful with your punctuation. To conclude, I feel the disadvantages of extravagant weddings are many. All right, this is incorrect here. You don't use although like this. If you want to use a linker followed by a comma, then use however. Or just this, I think however would be wrong here as well. I mean, just the structure of the sentence is off. So let's try it again. Although they, that's what it is. It's the punctuation is wrong. Okay, so although they appear, that's awkward. Apparently glittery, no. Although they appear extravagant and glamorous, comma, they have undesirable long-term effects on the society. Okay, so the takeaway here is you need to be more careful with some of your sentences. You need to review and improve your punctuation. So you have to review those punctuation rules. Some of the grammar is awkward, and I want you to be careful about creating lists. You have to develop more tightly controlled and organized paragraphs, okay? And of course, when you have an idea, you also have to support it. So for me, the biggest issues here are task achievement, coherence and cohesion, and then of course punctuation as well. All right, because you can see here in that very last sentence, the punctuation totally threw me and I couldn't read the sentence. All right, so now let's take a look at your task 1. All right, so let's look at this task 1. The pie charts illustrate the distribution of subjects preferred by students in schools in New South Wales in 2 academic years, 2014 and 2017. Overall, the preference for physics, oops, what just happened here? Okay, overall, the preference for physics was the same in both years. Get rid of the. But I guess you didn't mean this here. But the popularity of maths and geography dropped to a great extent with a T in 2017. When compared to 2014. However, there was a stupendous increase in preference for history in the year 2017. Okay, stupendous isn't really appropriate in this context. I would have gotten rid of it. You could say there was a dramatic increase. Basically, Sharmila, there are certain vocabulary words that we use in task 1. Stupendous wouldn't really fit here. So you could say there was a dramatic increase. There was a sizable increase, but stupendous, it just doesn't really make an appropriate collocation. All right? Okay, so, and now I'm assuming that this is your overview. As far as an overview is concerned, for me, it's a little too detailed. You're supposed to just give the overriding, the most obvious trend. And I think you might have gotten a little too detailed. But let's see how you finish the rest of your answer. So to begin with, in 2014, maths and geography were equally preferred by students. Get rid of that. All right, this is awkward. You could have used some nice cohesion here. But you have students in the same sentence, which I'm not really a huge fan of. So to begin with, in 2014, maths and geography were equally preferred by students. With a proportion of 27%. That's it. The next most popular subject was physics, which was preferred by about 1/5 of the students. In the same year, biology was preferred, get rid of that, by about 10% of the students. All right, this is really repetitive, okay? Each of the sentences here has the exact same structure, the exact same vocabulary, so you really have to break it up. You have to change your wording around and show that you do have a range of vocabulary and grammar. This paragraph doesn't show that, okay, because it's just really, really repetitive. All right, let's move on. Furthermore, in 2017, the number of students, okay, and here you have to be careful because we're not talking about numbers of students. We're talking about percentages, which is something totally different, so please be careful. So, furthermore, in 2017, the percentage of students taking a math and geography dropped to about 12 and 18% respectively. The preference for physics remained unchanged in both the periods. However, there was a dramatic increase in the popularity of history. I would have said with the proportion of students taking this subject increasing from a meager 1.2% to about 19%, which was a staggering 20 times increase. Okay, my first question to you, this paragraph, by the way, went a lot better. The grammar, the vocabulary, all of that was much better. But my question to you is, where is chemistry? Where is PE? Where is IT? All right, so you had 8 subjects here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right, you had 8 subjects here. You had 7 subjects here, and it looks like you discussed only 4 of them. So you have basically, let me see if I understood this correctly. You missed PE, you missed IT, you missed chemistry, and you missed geography. So that's a huge, oh wait, no, you didn't mention geography, I apologize. Anyway, I could tell it doesn't really matter how many you missed. The point is that from the moment you miss at least one of these categories, you're doing yourself a huge disservice. This is considered key information. If the examiner doesn't have at least the names of these categories, then the examiner is missing basic information here, okay? Let's see. So I felt like this was, let's see, you talked about the 4 subjects here, and then you talked about the same 4 subjects here. So it's just underdeveloped. That's pretty much it. I already told you that I found this this was too detailed. Okay, you should have just given me a more general statement about what's happening here, and then here the grammar was just very repetitive. All right, and then here the grammar wasn't repetitive. I liked what you did in terms of the language, but again, you missed several subjects, and so that's going to give you a major problem. Okay. So let's see if we can correct these. I'd like you to correct them, keeping in mind all of my suggestions, and go ahead and do that. Write down the errors in your error correction list, and let's see what you do in your next set of essays. Okay, good luck.